گسترده حقوق بشری. و اگر اروپایی‌ها معتقدند که ضوابط حقوق بشر رو یک ارزش میپندارند، این ارزش‌ها رو بایستی برای تمامی جوامع از جمله ایران هم بخواهند.
Germany, France, Italy, all of these countries have, while paying lip service to human rights, never really exacted a cost for Iran's mistreatment of its own population. And that is part of the reason why these abuses have continued for so long. Today we see that the international community is only interested in the nuclear issue, is only interested in security of its oil supplies, but no one is really taking seriously the abuses of human rights in Iran.
وقتی که قرارداد اقتصادی با ایران امضا میکنن یادشون باشه قیافه ندایی که در خیابان کشته شد.
My mother said that men don't cry. Back then I was 9 years old and wanted a bicycle that my parents couldn't afford. That day I listened to her, stuck my chest out and stopped crying. I wiped my tears away with the seam of her chador so that the others couldn't see that a man was crying. But today, at the age of 21, I cried again. On Modarra Street I cried, loudly and so hard that I had to stop the car by the side of the road. Unfortunately, I was not very far away from a taxi stand. Two people ran towards my car, an elderly lady and a man. The man looked at me with contempt, and I could see from the way he was looking at me that he was thinking, look at the man of today, crying like girls. But the woman slowly got into my car and stroked me in a motherly way.
My son is the same age as you. What happened, my boy? Did you get bad news?
I don't know. I just felt like crying. Couldn't hold back. Maybe because of the situation at the time. Maybe because of the humiliation that I had experienced. Maybe because of Neda, who got killed on the street. Maybe because of our homeland. Maybe because yesterday I felt how much hate my fellow citizens foster. Maybe also out of fear. Fear of being arrested. Fear of the Trunkians. Fear of being swept away in the wave of arrests. When I looked at her, I saw that she was crying too. I didn't ask her why. I drove her to work. We didn't say a word. Absolute silence until we said goodbye. Maybe out of fear, we would start crying again. My mother tricked me to make me stop wanting the bicycle. But today, I cried because of my lack of freedom. I am filled with sorrow for Iran, for me, and even more so, for all of us.
Your eyes stare at the cobblestones on the street. Then you let your eyes wander from the ground to the sky.
as if it wanted to measure the distance. You hear cars stopping, people jumping out and getting into position around your building. You quickly grab the phone, quickly call Hajir or Hamid. The door to your apartment bursts open and men storm in. Do you have a search warrant?
Do you know the number?
If he were a friend, his number would be saved. The cell phone and the landline ring at the same time. They tell you to switch off your cell phone. Everything is searched. In the end, they confiscate everything from laptop to diaries. They confiscate absolutely everything. The neighbors wake up. Their apartments are searched too.
احساس اولیه مطمئنم واسه هر کسی احساس ترسه. احساس ترس از آدمایی که نمیدونی کیان. احساس ترس از این که کسایی که گرفتنت نمیدونی کی هستن، قراره کجا ببرنت، قراره که باید چیکار بکنن.
Contrary to my expectations, my interrogators are men, and it's always someone else.
دقیقاً روسری من زد کنار و موهای منو گرفت توی دستش پیچید. بعد سر منو یکی دو بار کوبوند رو میز، گفت ببین اگه نخوای حرف بزنی راحت میتونم ازت حرف بکشم.
Everyone writes down questions that they want you to answer. You start with the name of God.
Were you on Musavi's election campaign team?
Yes. Head of press relations for the Tehran district.
Were you at the demonstrations?
Yes. If I hadn't been there, you would have been surprised.
آدما اسما و فشار خیلی زیاد برای اینکه تو اسم آدما رو بگی، راجع به آدمای مختلف بنویسی و همینطور فشار خیلی خیلی زیاد برای اینکه من یعنی تاکید خیلی زیاد از روز اول که من پسورد ایمیلمو بدم که بتونن وارد ایمیلم بشن.
You sit in the corner of a tiny courtyard. You discover secret messages on a door. Bahman, are you all right? I'm worried about you. Jila Bani Yaqub. Every evening I look for the moon and I think of you. From Hassan Tarlani for Massa Naderi. They don't just burn one leaf, no. They set the whole forest on fire and turn it into a desert. You quickly try to remember them, keep repeating them. You search for traces of other people. You don't find anything, and sit down again where you sat before. Between iron bars above your head, you search the sky. You are the one who listens to the unheard. You are the witness of those who have been deserted. Why don't you punish the unjust? You hear the muezzin again. You get up and perform a ritual ablution and sing. I will rebuild you, my homeland, even if I have to use the clay of my body to do so. I will build a pillar for your roof, even if I have to use my bones to do so. Even if I should die, I will rise from my grave to rob your enemy's heart with my scream. I will rebuild you, my homeland, even if I have to use the clay of my body to do so.
من به عنوان رئیس جمهور در پیشگاه قرآن کریم و در برابر ملت ایران به خداوند قادر متعال سوگند یاد می کنم که پاسدار مذهب رسمی و نظام جمهوری اسلامی و قانون اساسی کشور باشم.
The gate opens, and mothers and fathers stretch their hands out to hold up photos of their missing loved ones. Have you seen this man? Have you seen my daughter here? You walk through the crowd and realize that you haven't been released. You have merely left a small prison to enter a much bigger one. A prison called Iran.
من فکرشو نمی‌کردم هیچ وقت انقدر اوضاع بد بشه که خودم مجبور بشم که فرار بکنم و بیام بیرون.
سوال من اینه که من اگه میمونم یا برمیگردم کجا میتونم موثرتر باشم. این برای من الان خیلی مهم‌تره. یعنی مهم اینه که اون نقشی رو که فکر میکنم میتونم برای خودم تعریف کنم پیدا کنم و این میتونه اینجا باشه، میتونه تو ایران باشه.
دوست دارم کشور من یه کشوری باشه که توش آرامش باشه. این آدم‌ها، این جوون‌ها، این بچه‌هایی که رد میشن و وقتی توی مترو تو اوبان و اسپان میبینم که شادن، شنبه‌ها شادن و دارن میرن تفریح کنن و دغدغه‌ای ندارن و خودم میپرسم که شما میدونین ایران کجاست؟ شما میدونین که تو ایران جوانایی هستن که همسن شما هستن و نمیتونن شرایط شما رو داشته باشن؟
What we've witnessed in Iran is not just a rebellion. What we've witnessed is a seismic shift, a democratic tidal wave, which will irreversibly change the future not only of Iran, but of the entire Middle East.
نزدیک غروب آفتاب است و من صبح را دوست دارم.
I Dokument utifrån nästa vecka.
Under de senaste åren har en vild jakt på jordbruksmark inletts över hela jordklotet. 20 miljoner hektar har redan övertagits av utländska intressen och minst lika mycket står på tur den närmaste tiden. En del kallar det markrofferi alla vilda västern. Den nya tidens cowboys är investerare från rika länder. Indianernas motsvarigheter är världens fattiga småbönder. Det handlar om en ny världsordning på jordbruksområdet.
Se Land till salu i Dokument utifrån nästa söndag.